Garden Bayview guys. These are the team. Welcome to YouTube. There we go.
Hi. Hi, please subscribe.
Hi. Hello.
Day. But today, All Saints Day, what a day, Sunday. I'm feeling a little bit better, as you can see. My ear on this side is healing up quite nicely. It's taken 2 weeks. This side, I'm coming to the end of my antibiotics, my drops and my painkillers. So that's getting along pretty cool, so that's good. So what have we been doing this week, apart from being ill, apart from laying in my bed and dying? As of tomorrow, there is a QR code required, okay, in Davao City, and that you get that online from Safe Davao, and all you do is you go online, you put in your age, date of birth, who you are, your name, and then you then turn around and put in a picture like this, then a picture with a license or a passport or some sort of ID that says who you are here. So there should be a picture here that marries that. No point putting this card here or this ID here. It's got a picture of your pet or it's got a picture of your wife, because it ain't gonna get accepted. And then the last one is a picture of your ID. So I've done my face and my Philippine passport, Philippine driving license, and then a picture of my driving license, and then you turn around and send it off, and then they turn around and give you a number on your phone. It's a 6-digit number. You put the 6-digit number in, and then you can download that QR ID, and that will help you get into supermarkets and government buildings and police stations quicker, rather than going through all of that gobbledygook of writing your name on a piece of paper and then putting it in a box, and then does that person actually hand that paperwork into the government? What do they do with that paperwork? You know, 9 times out of 10 I'll bet you it goes in the bin, you know, and there is no tracing responsibility. So this great idea, whether it works is another kettle of fish. Is there a support structure from Davao government to actually collate all this information about where people are going? Because since I've been here, I've had to fill out a barangay pass, a police pass, a subdivision pass, had to give passports in, pictures and passports and copies of all of that about 5 or 6 times. Now I'm going to do this online on a QR. So if anybody asks me, I'll say go to Safe Davao, that's where I'm registered. So yeah, pretty cool, that's looking good. Next one is, there's a new thing called TTP. This is a Traveller's Transit or Transport Pass. It's free to get, guys. What you do is you go down to the local police station and you request it. Okay, and you can use this pass to get from GCQ to GCQ provinces. What you can't use it for is to go GCQ to modified. It's like for like. So if you're sitting within that little zone of GCQ, you can move. You can move between the two. If one is out of kilter, it doesn't marry up, so it doesn't allow you, because they're working to the same rules and regulations. It's called a TTP, and it's from the PNB police. It's free. Go down and ask about it, and you will turn around and get sent to a little office or a little box or somewhere, and you get the pass. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to be trying it this week because, as you know, I've had an ear problem. Can't hear what you're talking to me about. So anyway, yeah. What else is it? So COVID-19 in Davao is on the increase. At the moment it's around 3,300 to 3,400. It sits for the last 2 weeks at the top of infection or recorded new cases in the Philippines. So following that, there's a liquor ban. So as of 2nd of November until the 31st of December, no booze, guys. Can't buy it in the supermarket, can't have it with your meals. But there'll be some of you who do sneaky and go and do what you've got to turn around and do. But at the end of the day, don't get caught. Don't get caught, because you know what's going to happen when you get caught. You're going to be in the shit, aren't you, really? You're going to be right in it, because it's there for a reason. And I've seen some articles on Facebook, and I've seen some articles, dear me, panic buying has started again on booze, on drink, on liquor. Sarah the Turkey turned around and said, drink more water, drink more juice. Yeah, no problem at all. So to the guys that I know that have been out there with trolleys, and they bought like 150 bottles of beer, and they bought themselves like 50 bottles of Tanqueray, and they bought themselves all of this from the supermarkets, convenience stores. They're loving it, because it's giving them revenue for all those people that are going to take it home. It's less Christmas presents, isn't it? Because you've got less money to spend. Or if you've got loads of money to spend, then where are you earning it? Let me know, because I'd like to come round and tag on. Anyway, so there we go. So liquor ban, COVID-19, TTP, QR code, bit of chismis. I like a bit of chismis. I've just found out this word about 3 weeks ago, not being able to use it, but this chismis is going into my vlogs. This chismis, watch this space. I'm hearing, and I am hearing, I'm not part of that weighing of information, that there's going to be another casualty in the hotel sector in Davao City. Watch this space. It will be a surprise. It looks like it's going to have to close its doors. Be a shame. Never been there, so have to check out my videos and you'll be able to tick off the hotels that I've not been to. Yeah, so chismis. Curfew. Oh dear me, curfew. There we go. That's a nice word, isn't it? So the curfew is starting at 7 PM in the evening and finished at 5 in the morning. That started about 2 weeks ago, and on the back of that there was a little bit of information that slipped under the door, and that was the fact that the previous curfew, people from the age of under COVID-19, people that are over the age of 21 and under the age of 60 were allowed out. If you were outside of that parameter, so you were 19 or 20, you weren't allowed to go out. And if you were over 60, what? You weren't allowed out. But what's been slipped under the door very, very quietly is the fact is now, under curfew, anybody from the age of 16 to 65 is allowed to go out during the day, and they're allowed to go out and do what they want to turn around and do. Before, when they had this curfew, that was restricted to 21 to 60 years of age. That was the gap you could actually go out. 60 to 21. Now it is 16 to 65. Not allowed to go out during the curfew, but you can go out during the day, or if you're working or you've got jobs, because as I said, I did a vlog last week coming back from the shrine. There was some new areas being put into the curfew of exemptions, and travelling to and through Davao City had been put in the middle of all that paperwork or all that gobbledygook on that announcement, I think it would be a lot easier to turn around and say who has to stay at home rather than who is exempt. I think that should be taken in consideration, because the list is like 20 lines, 30 lines long with all of these people in it, from pedicabs to taxi drivers to hospital workers to key workers to officials to banking doing this. And then right in the middle you've got travel through DAVAO. Well, who's going to be doing that unless you're a tourist? Or if you're going to be a worker going to and from work, unless you live in Digos and you have to go to work in Tagum. Interesting, really. Anyway, okay, so that's my Chismis list gone through. I'd like to give a thank you, or wait, let me raise this up a little bit. I'd like to turn around and say thank you, pork pie. I had this problem in my ear, and pork pie mentioned in a comment I needed to get earplugs. Well, I'd actually forgotten about these things, and pork pie, due to my age, I'm saying thank you to you, because I bought these on Lazada, and these will help with my infection. They will keep the water from flooding in and giving me any grief. So I bought them. Big call out, please, pork pie. I hope they work, because I just can't deal with the pain going between my ears. There's nothing in there, it's like it's empty, so the echoing goes around and round and round, and it does upset me. Anyway, so that's my vlog today on the balcony, apart from one other subject, and that subject is, are you in there, guys? Guys, are you in there? Are you drinking another cup of coffee over there? You're drinking another cup of coffee, aren't you? I can smell it here in DAVAO. I can smell the Arabica and the foam and the nice oh dear me, I need to get a cup of coffee. Oh dear me. Anyway, update. SRRV. So, SRRV has been, lots of stuff's been going on, and I've been looking at a load of comments being made by other YouTubers, and they've all been jumping on the bandwagon, and they've all been giving it large. Great, no problem at all. I spoke to SRRV this week because I am an SRRV retiree. I meet that age requirement of above 50, so I have my money put into a bonded account in a timeshare, and I have my passport with my stamp on it, with my Visa stamp, and I have my Visa card, and I have last year's Visa card, and I have the year before's Visa card. So you get three of them. You don't get the stamps in your books, you get like a little plastic credit card with all your information on it. So what I've been led to believe is it's been suspended at the present due to anomalies with record keeping and attention to detail on travellers in and out of the Philippines, predominantly of the Chinese culture base, because there's like 27,000 supposedly Chinese retired at 35 to 36, 37, 38, which a senator called Senator Gordon raised that was the soldier's age. And I think that was setting a bee in a bonnet that there was going to be 28,000 Chinese secret militia here in the Philippines. Me personally, I don't know. I've got no thought on it really. I just know what my SRRV entitles me to. My SRV entitles me to leave the country as many times as I like, which difficult at the moment, isn't it? Because there are no flights. So why are people getting really agitated about the SRRV when there are no flights going out of the country? I don't see how that's going to affect people. They're still here, unless they've already left the country, and then it's down to the Bureau of Immigration to record. That's the part that's not actually being implemented. There is no record of when people with SRRVs exit the country. To go to the airport, you don't have to pay your registration and fill out your flight details on that stub when you go to the airport. You pass that by, you show them your card and they let you through, and then you go to the next stage. You don't need to turn around and complete any paperwork because it's there. What the immigration should be doing is recording your SRRV number and saying that you are actually taking out, leaving the country. What they should be doing is also asking you to supply a photocopy that you've exited the country with a flight return date, and when you don't come back, they can turn around and stamp it. So I think the SRRV is a very, very good program. It benefits me, let's put it that way. Yes, you can become involved in business, but who wants to get involved in business when you're retired? I suppose if you're 35 and you want to get into the gambling of the world, because that raises another kettle of fish, doesn't it? Of all of that online illegal gambling that happens in the Philippines, and a lot of places in Matika, I think it's called, or Makati in Manila, is complaining or are complaining about the loss of revenue because the gamblers have not been able to fly into the Philippines to do their online gambling, because you're not allowed to gamble in China because it's against the law. You know, I suppose if you want to go into gambling in China, you could end up going into politics, really, or becoming a fisherman and ramming things around the ocean. I don't know. Anyway, so the SRV has been suspended until they can investigate and they can put in place a recording structure or a accountability of who is doing what and where people are going in that period. Yeah, and that's how it works. Yes, you can turn around and get a one-off payment or one-off beneficiary of household items that you import into the Philippines from your destination. So that would be up to the value of $7,000, and you can bring over what you want to bring over and put it into your condominium, or you can put it into your rented property or your long lease property. Still not allowed to buy property. Foreigners are still not allowed to buy property using your SRRV. It doesn't allow you to do that. It just gives you benefits that you can go to the airport and you can travel home, or you can go back to your second home or your first home, and this is your second home, whatever. But SRV, as I've said, I've done a couple of videos on SRV. There's a young lady here who looks after me down at Regency Hotel. Lyra, thank you very much for all the information. Much appreciated. I wait until the 6th of November when the Senate or the inquiring body decide what they want to turn around and do. I'm hoping they don't turn around and say, to stay here you have to deposit $100,000 in the bank, because I won't be keeping my SRRV visa. I will go to a tourist visa, go back that way, which will be a shame because the SRRV program's been running for 29 years. 29 years. I mean, I'm a Brit. There's only 1,500 Brits in the Philippines retired. I think there's about 3,500 Americans, and people all turn around and say, oh, there's loads of Americans, loads of Americans. Koreans, there's 14,000. Chinese, there's 27,000. So those numbers are big on those two countries, and I personally think they'll investigate those two large anomalies. Why are there so many? Is gambling that popular? If it is, maybe they should put up some casinos on the Spratly Islands. Chinese don't like gambling, but you could put some there, couldn't you? But anyway, so SRRV, watch this spot. I just think there's a lot of scaremongering going on at the present time. But from my blog on the balcony, I'm getting well. Thank you to all you guys for your lovely comments. It does, yeah, brings me to tears really. Some of the comments and some of the niceness that this world can share. And as I said, pork pie, totally forgot about these. Must be something to do with my Alzheimer's creeping in. My age. Totally forgot about earplugs. I was thinking about using blue tack, putting that in my ear, but these, they fit and they ain't expensive. They're cheaper than going to DAVAO Dock, I can tell you that. But anyway, from a Sunday, All Saints Days, on my balcony. God bless you all, guys. Take care.